All right, guys, so I'm going to start recording. I want to thank you guys so much for coming on to our call. It is February 8th, and we have a special guest. One of our very own, Kira, will be speaking with us tonight on attracting your tribe. So very excited. I know she's very excited to share with you what she's been working on. But just a couple quick announcements. So this month is Team Cup. So make sure if you guys are on a team that you're staying in communication. I have a Facebook Messenger group, for example, with my Team Cup. So just really staying in contact with each other, keep just encouraging one another every single, usually daily, I try to send out a message, if not every other day, just kind of connecting with the members of my team. And so if you're not doing that yet with your team, please make sure you're doing that. Remember the challenge packs that are on sale this month, 21 Day Fix, 21 Day Fix Extreme, Size, all on sale this month, including the regular challenge packs for $140, along with the Kickstart for $180. So definitely lots of sales. What else do I want to say? In terms of just announcements, make sure you listen to the National Wake Up Call this morning, and then the challenge group app should be coming out in the next couple weeks. In case some of you don't know what that is, the idea is that Beachbody is coming out with a new app where we're going to be running challenge groups, or you have the option, I should say, to run challenge groups, taking it outside of the Facebook platform. This is good for people who do build their business on Instagram and maybe your clients don't all have Facebook. I know I have a couple clients that don't have Facebook. So definitely something to keep your eyes out. It's not going to come out this month, but it's going to be coming out, I believe, either in March or April. And then I think that's about all the announcements I have for you today. I think I'm going to go ahead. If I think of anything, I will definitely tell you at the end. But I'm going to go ahead and let Kira take over. So Kira is a mom-to-be. She is an Emerald coach. She's an ER nurse. So to all my healthcare professionals, and she's going to be speaking to us about attracting your tribe. Go ahead, Kira.
All right. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
All right. Okay. I'm going to undo that because then it was echoing in my ear. So like Stephanie said, I am an Emerald coach, and I am also an ER nurse and have been with this team for just under a year, actively coaching. It'll be a year in March, and really just excited to be here and working on this business because it's such a wonderful team. How do I screen share on here? Is there? Oh, there's shares. There we go. Can you see it? My PowerPoint? No.
If you click on share screen and just give it a minute, it's a green towards the bottom. There you go. It's coming up. All right.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Cool. So, like I said, we're going to talk a little bit about attracting your tribe because every one of us as a coach is different. We not all are going to be attracting the same people. We all are here for different reasons. We all are looking for different people who are like us. And that is one of the big important things that it's something really important that you need to remember in this business is, you're your own individual, unique person, and it gets easy to sometimes get caught up in, comparing yourself to others and wanting to do the same things as others. So this is really just focusing on your team and who you want to attract. So I'm kind of going to go over basically learning how to build a strong foundation so you can be successful. We're going to touch on personal development and believing in yourself because that is one of the most important aspects of the whole business. Developing your why, working on your target audience, and sharing yourself and your opportunity. So success requires 4 main ingredients. The first of all being having a strong belief in the products, in the business, and in yourself, with yourself being the strongest. You need to have a strong why to have a strong foundation because there are going to be ups and downs in this business the whole time that it doesn't matter if you just started or if you've been in this for 5-10 years, you're going to have ups and downs, ins and outs, and you're going to have that why to fall back on to really keep you going strong, especially in those times when you're hearing all those no's and you're getting really discouraged. That why comes in very handy to have there. It keeps you going. Having a strong commitment to yourself and in your business, which kind of goes along with your why, but by having that commitment, it's going to keep you from giving up. And then always remaining coachable and never stop learning, because it doesn't matter if you just started or you've been doing this for a long time. There's so much to learn in this business, and there's so many trainings and personal development and growth for you, no matter what level you're at. That's something that you never want to stop doing. So number one is building belief in the products and in the business. As a Beachbody coach, you have to know why you're doing what you're doing and what makes you really love what you're doing. So for me, I love Beachbody. I love the products because they have helped me over the past year really stay in shape. And even during my pregnancy, I'm able to stay fit and not have to worry about going to the gym and feeling self-conscious because, growing a baby, it makes you feel a little bit, not attractive, and you feel a little self-conscious from time to time. And I could not even fathom wanting to go into the gym right now. So getting to stay at home, it really keeps me motivated and going. And the variety of products that we have, as far as the workout programs, if you do get bored with one, you can move on to another one. And then the Shakeology, it's been amazing for me before and during pregnancy, getting to, just feeling wonderful, not having to take a vitamin. As, we all know vitamins and stuff have fillers, and what's in your Shakeology, and it really just is a completely beneficial for your health. And I really believe that. And those are reasons why I absolutely love the product. So it's important in knowing why you love your products, so you can share that with other people. And as far as why I love the Beachbody business is, as an ER nurse, I've always spent my extra time picking up other shifts when I wanted extra money. And now getting to work part-time from home, I don't have to do that. Instead of running around for 12 hours in the ER, maybe not even getting to go to the bathroom once in a whole 12-hour shift, I can sit at home and work on my business and really push at home and enjoy what I'm doing and not get yelled at and spit on and, have my bladder hurting by the time I get home, and I can make extra money, and I really enjoy doing it. And I get to express my passion and my love for helping people. And so this business really, it can be anything, but you have to pick out why you love the business aspect of it. And those are just my examples to kind of get you thinking, to see, everyone's different perspective on it. And then building belief in yourself. This was the third part. And this is, I believe, is like one of the most important parts of this business, because to succeed, you must have faith in yourself. You get what you put out into the universe. I'm a firm believer in that. And you can have whatever you want as long as you have vision. And having vision is so important, because a man without a vision will perish. And that is a very strong quote that I heard recently. And it is very powerful, because if you think about it, you could live your life and wake up and do the same mundane things in and out, day in and day out. Wake up, go to work, go through the same routine at work, come home, have dinner, go to bed, and wake up and do it all over again. And the call that I listened from Stephanie by Danny Johnson, she calls it Groundhog's Day, if you've ever seen the movie. So it's just repeatedly living the same thing. And so many people get caught in that if you don't have a greater vision, you can get stuck doing the same thing. If you have a vision, you can really, really grow and have any life that you really believe. And then personal development is an absolute must in this business. And I know you've probably heard this before from Stephanie and from any other speaker. You can get back tenfold what you invest in yourself as far as personal development. So going to seminars, listening to audiobooks, reading books, podcasts, do them. I can't express that enough, how important these really are. And it helps you in developing your characteristics and when you're really going out looking for people who you want to work with. And your desire to succeed has to be greater than your fears. Fears hold us back. They limit us. They don't allow us to succeed, and they really put up roadblocks and walls. And if you let your fears can prevent you from doing anything. If you get past them, you can explode and go a million miles. You can go in any direction that you want to. And Josh Spencer on the Team Next Level, he actually did a live Facebook webinar. It's on the page. If you guys get a chance, I recommend going and listening to that, because it was all specifically just based off of fear. So for personal development, you have to really dig in. And, this is something that I kind of slacked off in for a while, and it definitely comes back and bites you in the butt if you don't do it, because when you've had some negative things go on in your life or people around you, and you start to believe what other people are saying, you start to portray that. You start to live that way. And, you don't want to display that, because like attracts like. So if you're displaying like this negative attitude, you're going to attract negative coaches into your team. You can still be posting and inviting and doing all of your 3 vital behaviors, as far as inviting goes, but you're not going to get the people who, are positive and have self-confidence and are happy and really, wanting to work hard and motivated. So, I have on here, you cannot attract someone who you think is better than you. So if you're living this negative life and you have all these horrible, this negative self-talk towards yourself, and you meet someone and you're like, oh, this person would be an awesome coach because, they're so confident, and look at them, like they just have a great personality. Well, if you don't have those characteristics, they're not going to want to work with you, because they're going to want to keep going. And, they're not, it'll kind of turn around on them to carry you when you're the one that's supposed to be the leader. So it really is important that you're displaying who you want to be working with. And one thing that we always talk about is you become like the 5 closest people in your circle. And what I mean by that is the people that you spend the most time with are the people that you are going to be the most alike. So if you want to be successful and you want to step out of your box and really go for gold, you need to be around people who are successful. And I really was exposed to that when I went to the GoPro event in December or October. I think it was October, with Stephanie and Luke. And it was incredible to be in a room full of people who were that inspired and motivated and just all had the same drive to succeed, versus being around, other people who don't have that drive, who are okay living day in and day out, just going to their job and coming home and cooking dinner and going to bed and just doing those same daily activities. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you really want to succeed and live a life of your dreams, you really have to push. And so you have to display that as well. And so if you're struggling, there's so many different options as far as personal development goes. You can go get a book. There's so many. And if you are struggling on what type of book or what book to get, ask any coach, post in the team page, because we all have ideas of, what books are for what works better. Like if you're having self-confidence issues, or if you're struggling with leadership aspects, there's so many. There's such a huge variety as far as what type of personal development book that you really want. So self-confidence, self-doubt, negative self-talk, those all hinder you. And, one thing is life and death is in the power of the tongue. And that is a quote by Danny Johnson. And I have never heard it until today. And it is the most powerful quote I think I've ever heard, because what you speak will come true. And it all comes from your mouth. You can achieve anything that you want, but if you are talking negatively about yourself, you're going to have negative effects that come back at you. If you're talking positive, you're going to be positive. So you are what you speak, and remember that. And if you're having trouble with it, I am the queen of Post-it notes, and I can tell you I've been that way since before this. I have put Post-it notes to everywhere, including my steering wheel when I was in nursing school, telling me like, you're going to do this. And yeah, it may be cheesy and corny, but you know what? My friends may have laughed at me, but it worked. And I highly recommend, if you are struggling, there's nothing wrong with that. Now I don't have as many Post-it notes because my husband hates seeing all these little Post-it notes around the house, but I take a whiteboard marker and write on my bathroom mirror. I have that thing covered in different types of quotes and, positive affirmations to help me just get through each day. So however you have to do it, bring yourself up, make yourself believe how confident you really can be, because then you're going to really bring those people onto your team. So the next part, I'm going to touch basic, like just do, some basic talks on the next few things, just because there's a lot more training and a lot more in-depth learning that you can do. But these are just things to do, so you really kind of have a vision on, attracting who you're really going to work with. So in developing your why, you have to have a vision. So you have to know why you're building your business. You have to know why you got started and what is this business going to do for you? Why do you want to do it? What's your long-term vision? And this is just a vision board that I made up for me for this year. And what I have, it's just a long-term goal for me. So, you want to know what it's really going to do for you. Are you wanting this business so you can quit your job, or so you can just be able to pay a little extra debt off? Are you wanting to make this a full-time career? Or are you just wanting it to be part-time? Are you wanting it to make friends? Are you wanting it for the extra money so you can travel, maybe once a month, once every 6 months, do things that you've never done before? If you have a vision to set your mind on, you have something to work towards. And when you're displaying what you're working for, and you're working hard towards those goals and showing that to people through your posting, you're going to attract people who want those same things, because as you start to make these things happen, they're going to start seeing it, and then they're going to want to come to you and start working with you. So it's really important just to really keep that vision in mind. And then developing your brand this is where it really gets into who you want to work with. So you have to think, who do you enjoy being around? Who do you enjoy working with? Think about yourself, think about things that you like to do, and make a list. Make a list of characteristics of people and things that you like to do of yourself that you enjoy doing, and really just digging into and honing in on those characteristics. Because when you start posting and you start influencing and or in your posts, when you really are putting all of those words out there and saying, are you funny? Are you creative, outgoing, motivated? These people are going to come to you. If you say, if you're any of these things, let me talk to you, and you're going to start attracting those types of people, as long as that's what you're portraying. So that kind of goes into creating what we call an avatar, which is just basically your target audience. It's who your person is that you want to work with. And so you want to, again, develop those characteristics, and also include, like their age, their sex, their marital status, personality types, fears, and all of these things can be things that you experienced yourself. And they're going to help you learn to connect with this person. And what you want to be thinking when you're making this is, how can you add value to their and improve their life? And here, this is just an avatar that I had made based off of myself. And so I made her Kyla, and, she's anywhere from 23 to 35, is happy and single, has a supportive husband. In the beginning, doesn't have to necessarily start that way, because I'll tell you, my husband wasn't super supportive in the beginning. So I do address that kind of stuff when I'm posting, and that's okay. But you want to be real, and you want to share these things, because there's someone else out there who has had that in their situation. And, I want people who love their family and their friends and animals, and someone who's restoring their relationship with Christ and loving the outdoors and running and water, and just anything that you can think of that really makes you, you and how you were. If you think about how you were when you first started and what made you want to get into this, there's other people that are like there that share those fears. Someone who, after I finished nursing school, I really kind of felt like I was lost and not knowing where I was going, and not, I just felt kind of up in the air, like I had met my big goal, and now what? And so I was looking for a deeper purpose in life. And, as a nurse, sometimes you're underappreciated. And so I'm looking for people who are experiencing those types of feelings as well in their life, because this does really give you so much more meaning and helps you really go through life and gives you more purpose and that kind of a thing. So those are all just kind of ideas to help you get through looking for who you really want to work with. And then number 4 is sharing yourself. So you can share yourself on so many different platforms. They always say start with one and master it, and then maybe start learning a different one. And so I kind of just put different ideas as far as social media goes. There's more than just social media. You can share, when you are at church, or if you're at a gathering, or I can tell you, if you, I know one thing that Josh Spencer's talked about is, wearing the t-shirts. If you've done a program, get the free t-shirt and wear it out, because I will tell you, I've been approached by people in the grocery store like, oh, what is that you have on? What is 21 Day Fix? Like, they've seen my jacket, and then you start talking to them, and it can lead into a new customer, a new coach. So, and you never would have met them if you weren't displaying that. So you never know where you're going to run into people, but it's important to share and to always be real. You always want to be yourself in anytime that you're sharing, and make sure you're sharing everything that you can, and just be real about it. So my biggest key points for you to remember are the only difference between success and mediocrity is your mindset. You can change your mind. So if you want to be successful, have a successful mindset that, and that goes back to with all the personal development. You can really push through and change your whole life just by having that type of positive mindset and working hard and being mindful of what you speak, because what you speak will happen. I am a firm believer in this, and it's easy to fall into that trap. Like, oh gosh, I suck. Like, I've had so many no's this month. I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I'm really bad at this. It's easy to fall into those negative self-talk traps, and you have to stay on your personal development, because once you get into that realm and just wheeling, it's like a snowball effect. It just gets worse and worse and worse and worse, and then it's so much harder to get back out of it than if you just really kept building yourself up. And yes, it is hard to build yourself up, harder than it is to beat yourself down sometimes, which is so bizarre to me, but it's the way our society is and the way things can get portrayed, and stress and everything else. But if you're doing your personal development and really building your self-esteem and your self-confidence up, it's going to help you portray that, and you're going to get those people back with you. And if you work harder on you, then you're going to become unusually successful. So this goes back to investing in your personal development again. As long as if you put in the money, I know sometimes the seminars, they seem $300, $400, $700 is expensive depending on what seminar or, who you're seeing. But really the outcome of what you learn there, what you take away from those seminars is huge. And if you take out what and put to use what you've learned, it's going to pay you back ultimately. Like there's no greater development than working on yourself. You can't learn anything else. And working on yourself is it's going to get you so much further in life than anything, because if you're positive, you're going to have a positive life. And always, always, always remember to fail forward, because anyone sitting on the couch eating bonbons, watching TV all day is failing. You can fail that way, or you can get up and you can try and you can fail. If you're trying, at least you're learning what you did wrong and you're moving forward. So always remember, keep progressing, because the more you progress, the better you're going to get, and the better outcome and the better team, and your team is going to start to see that, and share if you fail. I'm okay. I failed 100 times so far in this last year, more than that, and it gets frustrating, but as long as you're sharing what you're doing and what you're trying, you're trying and you're moving on. You're not going back to doing what you did that made you fail. So just always remember, keep progressing and keep doing that personal development, because ultimately that's what it boils down to. And when you feel good about yourself, you are going to be able to attract people who are also feeling good about themselves, and you're going to be able to help them, and you're going to have an awesome, awesome team. So, okay. I think I might have talked a little faster than earlier when I was practicing, but
Awesome. You can go ahead and unshare your screen so I can see if anyone has. Awesome. Oh, wow. Look at all you beautiful, beautiful faces. Anyone have any questions or comments? I just want to see if you had any thoughts before I go, because I took a ton of notes. And so there are a couple things that I know I want to kind of reiterate. But did anyone have anything that they wanted to, that they took away? You can, kind of wave your hand if not. Great job. Tony said, yes, absolutely amazing job, Kira. I think, Kira, you speak really well. So, I can't wait to see you as you grow, because you have such an amazing presence and you speak very confidently and you have amazing poise. So I definitely think, everyone's saying more calls by Kira. So it's definitely, You're doing amazing, and you look beautiful. So, but yeah, so basically the things that I took from, and so I posted, and if you haven't seen it, there's a couple things. So I sent Kira the Danny Johnson, which I sent it to in a couple different formats to a couple different, to some of you guys to listen to. So definitely make sure that you listen to the call. And it's just one snippet, guys. Danny Johnson, and it's like, I'm going to like convert this team into like a Danny Johnson team. She's amazing. And I think my mom has a question. Hold on. Go ahead, Mom.
Hi guys. I just wanted to mention about Danny Johnson. He introduced me to her when she went to the conference the other day, and I'm in love with Danny Johnson. She is, if you can listen to her every single day, plug in, she's very inspiring. She will change your life. I try to do as much as I can of that with her. I use her as part of my personal development every day. I do a lot of personal development because I'm working on that. So I definitely took away that from Danny Johnson. She is amazing. That's it. That's what I want to tell about Danny Johnson.
So if you guys go to DannyJohnson.com, she actually has a lot of stuff on there. I mean, she has like a daily podcast. She has tons of stuff on YouTube, but you can all access it through her website. And she has amazing stuff that you can purchase. I'll continue sharing it if you guys find it very helpful. As I'm kind of going through it, I bought her whole audio series. And so all her lessons, I bought all of it just because, again, she has really powerful things. And she will be, and again, I keep talking about this just because she goes several times throughout the year to different parts of the country. And so her next stop is in Texas, and then after it'll be the Northeast. But she'll always end up Northeast. She goes to the West Coast. She goes to the Midwest, all throughout in 1 year. So Southeast, Southwest. So definitely, she's just someone that she only tells 6 weeks in advance. So that's the only kind of thing that's kind of sucks a little bit, because you can't plan too far, because I have no idea what date it is. But what Kira was talking about a lot, and I think we talked a lot about just personal development. And the reason why we keep really mentioning this to you guys, and especially if you're a newer coach or a veteran coach, it is so important. Your personal development is so important. You will only grow, your business will grow as much as you grow. And I've always said this several times, and it's the most humbling thing, is that you will never attract someone better than you. And that is extremely humbling when you think about it. So all of the negative thoughts you have, all of your habits, all of the things that you need to work on, you really need to take a strong look at yourself and let go of your ego and humble yourself and look at the things that you need to work on. One thing that I've been taking away from Danny Johnson a lot is just the idea of being coachable, right? We talk a lot about that, but being coachable, letting go of ego, humbling yourself, and staying a student. So many times, and she talks a lot about comparing the 98%, which is like everyone who ends up living a mediocre life, doesn't, live up to their full potential. And then you have the 2% of people who really succeed, who really find this amazing, fulfilling life that they've led. And the reason, one of the things that she talks about is just how they remain a student. So think about it, and think about this. I mean, Danny Johnson's not just business. Let me tell you, she is personal. She is relationship. If you're married, she will teach you how to be a better wife. Like, she is phenomenal. And she, it's literally about, when she talks about the idea of being coachable, think, look at yourself and ask yourself, are you someone who's always right in your mind? And if you're someone that's always right in your mind, that is your ego. And I'm there with you. I'm there with you. So I'm someone, it's really hard. It's really, I always have something to say. I always have an answer. I always have a reason. I always have Luke's saying talk about it. So, he's here, but it's the truth. And I'm humbling myself telling you guys, but it's the idea that you have to stay coachable. You know what I mean? You have to stay that eager student and be coachable. If we're telling, in this business, in Beachbody, I've had a certain level of success. If I'm telling you to do something, do it. Be coachable. Don't think, don't try to go outside the box and try, it's three things I'm telling you to do every single day. The workout, the personal development, and talking to people. And it's the same thing in whatever you're trying to do in your life. So remain coachable, really look at yourself and really look at purposeful personal development. Are you every single day doing something to make you better? What I need is going to be different than what you need. And think about where you're lacking, what skills you're lacking. Is it people skills? Is it belief in yourself? Is it confidence? Is it self-esteem? Is it that you are the worst critic of yourself? Because there's a lot of you on here, I'm sure, who you are a terrible critic of yourself. And instead of lifting yourself up, you keep tearing yourself down. And you need to stop that. You need to stop that, because that is not what you're made, that's not what you were created to do. You were created to rise up and to give the best of yourself, not to tear yourself down. And so what Kira said, basically life and death is in the power of the tongue. I agree. When you said that, Kira, I was like, that was one of the key things that I took from that call as well. It's super, super powerful. And look at the people around you. Think about the people around you and the people who are hurting, who are depressed, who have anxiety, who have all of these issues, and look at probably how they speak about you, about others, about themselves. So be very careful. Be very careful of who you surround yourself with. And that is also something that you will learn in this business. And as you grow in this business, there may be people who may fall off, and you have to be okay with that. Because if they're not helping you move forward, if they're not rising with you, then they're only going to hold you back, and they're only going to hold you down. And sometimes it may be a family member, and that's hard. It's hard to keep moving forward, but you're doing better. You're doing them a better service by leading them, because as they see you being more successful, and if you are always humble and you always share what you've been doing with grace and love, they will, they'll follow, hopefully, but the hope is that they'll follow. But don't stay behind because someone else is choosing to stay behind. So think about that in your personal development. Think about that where you need help. The positive affirmations are so, so important. The positive affirmations are training your subconscious mind. That is what it's training. So all of, whenever you're quick and you're like, I'm stupid, or I'm fat, or, I just can't do this. This is just too hard. Oh my God, this is just too hard. Or, I'm so overwhelmed, or, I can't do this. I can't do that. All of this, that's your subconscious. That is your subconscious. And so now with positive affirmations, all of those reminders, you are reminding yourself, you are affirming yourself. And so there are people, really successful people, Oprah and all these really successful people who have who've led very successful lives. They have positive affirmations. And think about the way you should do it is that you should write out your statements. And I know Amy does this, Catherine does this. Write out your statements. Write out what are the things that you need to work on. Call into your life what you want to be. Call into your life the strengths, the wisdom, the peace, the characteristics that you want to be. And write it out and say it every single day. Say it every single day and say it out loud. And that is, that's the whole idea of affirmations and affirming yourself. And another thing that I kind of wanted to talk about is, what did I want to say? Oh, when you're speaking, she mentioned the avatar. So when you guys are posting on social media, the avatar, the idea of an avatar is so important, because if you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. And so you really need to think about who is your ideal customer, who is your ideal person that you would like to work with, that you would like to speak to, and speak to that person. Say words like you. This is actually something that I learned from Danny Johnson. Yeah, from Danny Johnson when she talked about speaking in front of others or just posting. The idea is that when you're speaking in front of people or you're posting is to use the word you. For example, don't say you all, you guys, you speak to one person, and your message will come across so much more than if you were speaking as if you were speaking to everyone. And it makes sense, actually, when I think about that. I'm like, if she's saying you, I'm going to be thinking, she's talking to me. And so think about that in your posting. Use you and just speak directly to that person, because that is who you're trying to attract. And then the last thing that I wanted to say. What was it? Positive affirmations. Yeah, I think, guys, if you're someone who really struggles with depression, if you've had depression in your past, anxiety, personal development is going to be where it's at for you. And that's where you have to put so much of your time, because at the end of the day, you are what's going to stop you from being successful. It doesn't matter, what I tell you to do. It doesn't matter what any of us tell you to do. It's going to be what you think you can do. And so really pouring into yourself and really taking that time to really build yourself up so that you can, there's a part of you that wants more. And so realize that, that's what I wanted to say. Last thing, I know I can say a lot. Last thing. So a lot of you guys, you want a successful business. You want a better life. And so when you think, be careful, and I say this a lot, be careful of who you turn to for advice. Be careful of who you turn to for their opinion. And I heard this once in one of my personal developments, and she talks about how you would never go to a janitor and ask them how to run a successful business, because the janitor can't tell you that. Just like I'm sure you can't go to your mom or your sister or someone who's not in business and ask them if you should be doing this business or if this sounds like a great business that you should do. They have no experience. So why go to them when they're going to be they have their own limiting beliefs, they have their own history, their own past, that's what's going to limit them, and that's what they're going to come and tell you. And so just be very careful, because if you go to a janitor asking about a business, he's going to tell you, all he can show you is how to mop, how to clean. He can only show you what he knows. So just be very, very careful of who you turn to when it comes to your business and when it comes to advice. Look to us, look to colleagues, look to other successful people in your life who are leading successful lives. And that's another thing. If you don't have a lot of successful people around you, you really need to look at who's around you, especially if you're trying to live a successful life and you want to have a life that's financially free and really fulfilling. If you can't think of anyone else, besides this, who we are in this team, then you really need to think about who you're surrounding yourself with. And it's not, again, this is all about improving your life for yourself and for your future. And yeah, I think I can keep going on if you let me, but I know everyone's like, let's see what Catherine, if you realized how powerful your thoughts are, you would never think a negative thought. Whatever you believe about yourself on the inside is what you will manifest on the outside. Absolutely. That is absolute. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, Kira. That was really, really awesome. And I'm going to keep sharing the Danny Johnson stuff as I kind of go through it and I download it, because I have to share it I have to share it in certain ways. But any other questions? Now I'll just kind of leave it for any questions at all or anything. Oh, Tony raised her hand. Hold on. Go ahead, Tony. Unmute yourself. I can't remember.
I think I did. Let me try to
you did.
Oh, hey, guys. So I want to share something that goes with Kira's message. Hi, Kira. Awesome job. We limit ourselves, right? So her message today was kind of very good to talk about this. You're building yourself up. You're getting your confidence up. Referrals, I cannot tell you enough about how referrals can change your business around. Most salespeople or most people who are in a marketing company, they may be very successful, but if they don't feel confident, they may shirk that particular part. They may have all these awesome people who love what they do, who they've held. And I just want to remind everybody this week, especially since the January rush has kind of had a peak to it. That doesn't mean it's over, but it's had a peak. A lot of people have chosen some sort of fitness program or they're doing something already. You may catch the tail end of some stuff, but this is a great time to go back and say, you know what? I've got all these people who believed in the product, are starting to get results, really thought it was an awesome idea, or maybe they were pregnant like Kira and they couldn't do it, but they think the world of me, they think the world of beach body. And it's a great time to ask for referrals. And with your confidence up, with your energy up, Steph always starts her calls with her energy up. Get your energy up, get pumped, get up, and then start putting that energy out into referral land. I sold 5 to 4 referrals last month. Random people that were like, my friend said you rock, and so I need someone who rocks, and can you help me? I've been pounding the pavement on vital behaviors, but the people who came to me were given to me like with a bow on the head. So I just want to encourage you to reach out, touch your market, say, hey, do you know anybody else who may benefit from this? Even if they tell you no, now's a great time, and you have enough clients or you've touched enough lives at this point that there's probably 2 or 3 sales waiting for you right now. So make that a habit of yours when you're feeling kind of dry or a little down, that it's 10 times easier to close a deal on a referral. But our confidence probably needs to be up a little bit to ask, okay, or to receive that blessing. It totally made me successful, and I totally was over here trying to get these people's attention. But over here, people were like, hey, want my money? Hey. So ask. And you'll see that the more you ask, the more you ask, right?
Absolutely. And I think, Tony, what you're also is which I've said in a call before, which is the law of you reap what you sow. And I think this was something also very powerful that I got from Danny Johnson when I went to her seminar specifically, is that you reap what you sow. So she, Tony's talking about putting out that positive energy. You remember, guys, you have come into this business to not only enrich your life, to enrich others. So go out and enrich their lives. Don't just sit back and not do that. Like, that is what you said you wanted to do. And realize that when the law of you reap and you sow, which I thought this was very powerful, is that you don't know where your harvest will come from. So Tony was over here looking at these other people that she was reaping into, that she was basically talking to, not knowing that her harvest is going to come from somewhere else. And I think a lot of us forget that. And I know I've definitely been there, where it's like you get so upset when someone's not, buying from you, these people you're not talking to. But again, the law of reap and you sow is that you never know where that harvest is going to come from. And so when you are trying to directly reap from who you're directly sowing, you're doing things with strings attached, and that's never a good way to do any type of business. At the end of the day, this is about relationship building. So be mindful of that, because that is so important. And the last thing that what Tony touched upon, which is just your energy, guys. You see, I'm always dancing and I always listen to music, and it's because it's so important. Your energy, when you're talking to people, smile. When you're on the phone, smile. Increase your energy, because people can sense that and they can know that. And that is so important. And just even if you increase yourself by like 10%, again, because I've been listening to a lot of Danny Johnson lately, she says that in one of her calls recently, which is just the idea that, and I think it's in the one that I just sent out today to a lot of people, which is like the whole idea that if you're someone who you frown and you're always like this, and then all of a sudden you just smile, not even like a lot, you don't have to be like me, high energy, or like Tony, high energy, but if you smile and you're someone who frowns, that people are going to be like, whoa, what's going on with her? She's smiling now. She's, and that, just that little 10%, smiling. She talks about that. Smiling will close deals. Smiling will get you will open up a lot of doors if you smile. So just, take that into consideration. Just really, it really is. It's about relationship skills. It's about being the best of yourself, and realize, your frowns, how, people can sense that energy. So if you want to attract better, you got to be better. If you want to attract positive, loving, amazing people into your life, you have to be those things too. And don't wait for them to come. Start being it now, so that you can receive what you want. All right, guys. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for taking the time, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.